Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cliff and
Sean
with Trailgrid Pro. Super pumped to be back with you as always. Sean, we've got something in front of us that's small but mighty.
It is.
Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So we're here to announce our new partnership with Beat-Sonic. And I got to tell you, these guys are awesome. Eric from Beat-Sonic and the crew, super nice guys, all about innovation for Toyotas. And it just seemed like an amazing opportunity for a partnership. And what we have in front of us is going to be our first amplified solution for the new 2024 Plus Tacomas. And we're super pumped to go over it today. So Sean, why don't you go through a little bit of what we have in front of us?
So this is the Beat-Sonic Encore Amplifier. It's a 45x4 at 4 ohm amplifier, but wait, it's got a DSP built in.
All right.
So it comes pre-tuned for your 24 and up Toyota Tacoma. It's also got 3 RCA outputs, so if you want to add additional amplifiers either right away or down the road, doesn't really matter. It has the ability to do it. Really cool thing about this is it's a Class AB amplifier, so it's going to be the cleanest audio you can get from an amplifier. This thing is awesome. It's super tiny, and I'm sure we're going to go ahead and open it up and check it out.
Well, real quick, just one more thing. So we're talking about a solution that works with the factory head unit.
Yep, factory head unit. Look, you're not going to be able to swap these out for a while. If ever, and you have everything built into it already anyway, so why not do something that can make, your driving more enjoyable?
Right. So factory head unit, non-amplified Tacomas.
Has to be the non-JBL version.
Correct. Yep. So yeah, let's open this baby up. Sean, you do the honors.
Okay.
Let's see. This is pretty wild how small and mighty this thing is. So pull that thing out. Yeah, instructions.
Box,
cool.
instructions.
Great.
So. It's packaged well.
Yeah.
So,
beautiful.
So that's the amplifier.
So look at your palm. So here, Sean, you're not a small guy, but still, like 6'1", fits in the palm. Its hand's bigger than the amplifier. So super discreet. We talked about, so we haven't even opened this yet. So we're installing it for the first time today. So we were talking about where we're going to put this amplifier, and we don't quite know yet. Under the seat, it's going to fit behind the glove box.
Behind the dash.
Yeah.
Now, one thing is that it comes with everything you need.
Yep.
So this is the harness, power.
Let's unravel that thing. Let's see how long it is.
Power is in the harness, so there's no running to the battery or anything.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Here, you take one side.
Yeah, take one side.
So
it's
6 feet.
It's a good 6 feet. Yep.
6 feet. So you should be able to get it almost anywhere, underneath the front seat.
Plug and play connectors.
Yep.
Nothing you need to figure out. Plugs right in.
Plugs right in. You get your remote output for your aftermarket amplifiers if you choose to do that. You also get your USB if you want to change any of the tuning internally on the DSP.
Like on the fly once it's installed?
Yeah, once it's installed, you can actually plug in your PC. Unfortunately, not Mac, but PC computer, and get into the tuning software and actually tune it yourself if you know exactly what you want it to sound like.
It's packed with a punch. It's small, plug and play wiring. It's a no-brainer for these new 2024, 2025 Tacomas. If you're looking for a little bit more out of your audio, whether you have the factory speakers or aftermarket speakers.
Yep.
We're about to come out with some aftermarket speaker bundles very soon for the 2024 Plus Tacoma, but we're going to put it in here today, and we're going to see how it sounds, so I'm pumped about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a quick kind of install, kind of show you how to get the radio out, and then we'll kind of go over it, where we're going to place it. And then I'm going to have Cliff come back, take a listen to it, see what he thinks.
There we go. Sounds like a plan. Let's get into it.
So let's take a minute before we remove our factory head unit, go over what we're going to need as far as tools. So I have my screw gun with a 10mm socket. You can use a handheld wrench and socket as well. And we're also going to need a panel removal tool. Those are all the tools we're really going to need. One thing you may want to consider is have a blanket or a towel or something for once we remove the head unit, just to protect any of the surfaces on the truck. So I also do have all of my accessories as well as my amplifier here. Let's actually start removing the radio. So first thing we're going to want to do is remove this piece just behind the radio. Now to do that, we'll grab our panel popper, stick it in the back corner, just be a little gentle and then just pop it out. As you can tell, it's just got 4 plastic clips that hold that in place. Now that will reveal 4 10mm bolts. So 2 on this side, 2 on this side. I'm not going to be able to get a really good picture of them, but you'll be able to understand where they are behind the radio. So there's 1. There's 2. Three. And all 4. So now we have all 4 of the bolts out. We just gently pull forward to release it. That's when we're going to want to grab our towel or our blanket, just kind of get it underneath as we're pulling the radio out to protect the plastic from any kind of scratches. So we can kind of get it out and get it sat. So here you'll see lots of different plugs. So once our radio is out, there's 2 harnesses we're going to want to unplug. The first one is this gray plug, and then the second one is right next to it, and that is the black plug. So we're going to go ahead and get the gray plug unplugged. We'll get our black one unplugged. That's our actual speaker harness. So there we go. So we have those 2 unplugged. Now we'll grab our white power, plug that in to where the gray was. Make sure you hear that click. And then we can go ahead and plug the gray into the other side. So that's what will actually give us our power, ground, and ignition for the amplifier. Then we have our 2 black plugs. We have a male and a female. The male will plug back into the factory head unit. And the female side will plug into what was plugged in to the factory head unit. So make sure they're all clicked. So now we have all of our connections made. So next we're going to want to run this side to wherever you want to hide it. So it's up to you whether you want to do it on the driver's seat, passenger seat, behind the glove box, wherever you want. We're going to, just kind of feed it down through. I'm going to put it on the passenger side. Now that we have all of our connections made, I have my harness routed underneath the dash, coming out down below on the passenger side. We can actually go ahead, slide our head unit back in, so we can remove our towel and just gently slide the radio back in, making sure it locks back in. Wipe it down here. And then go ahead and start each one of those 10mm bolts by hand. There we go. Let's go ahead and get those tightened down. So those are all tightened down. We'll go ahead and grab our plastic cover, get that into position there, lock it down. Now really the next thing is, once you know where you're going to put your amplifier, you have your plug here, simple plug in. All you're going to do, get it plugged in. So now that we have it plugged in, let's go ahead and just turn it on, make sure everything works. So power light came on. So let's go into Spotify. A significant volume increase. But from there, you can go ahead, shut your truck off, get your amplifier mounted again wherever you're going to within the limits of how long your cable is, get it secured, and you're done. So if you ever want to, in the future, add amplifiers, you have your 3 sets of 2.5 volt pre-outs. You also may want to consider running the USB somewhere in the truck so you can plug in at any time and plug your computer in, do any changes if you feel it necessary. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead, grab Cliff. We're going to take a listen together and see what he thinks.
All right, Sean, you've got it in, the new Beat-Sonic amplifier for the 2024 Plus Tacomas. What are your thoughts on the installation, time, everything about it?
So the installation went really pretty smoothly.
Yep.
You know, once you get that radio out, get all the plugs in. It's a pretty simple process of dropping the pre-made harness down.
Yep.
So what I did is I actually put it underneath the passenger seat.
Okay.
I'll show you that before we hop in there. So, you know, just did the normal stuff you would want to do to put an amplifier underneath the seat. You know, remove the kick panel and the sill plates, and then remove the seat. I didn't pull it all the way out, just leaned it back. That's all I needed to do.
Yep.
Nice thing about these newer Tacomas is there's a nice little spot underneath the carpet, underneath the seat, so you don't see anything. It's all just kind of disappears in the car.
Yep.
Plugged it in, boom, it was on.
So
sounded great.
Yeah, so because the amplifier is small, there's that little nook that you were talking about, like in the Tacoma, and like your decision if you want an amp rack or not necessarily needed since it's so small. So we didn't use one. We have double-sided tape right on the bottom, and it's just sitting there nicely. You know, it's not going to be, you're not going to see it.
Yeah, and honestly, so with that sitting there, and let's say we decide to do other amplifiers or a 5-channel amplifier or something like that, we can put something on top of it, whether it be an amp rack or something still underneath the seat, but you know, it's never really going to hit that DSP.
Yep. So, okay, so an hour less?
I would say start to finish, removing the seat and everything, probably 45 minutes.
Okay, 45 minutes for these new Tacomas to get sound like you've never had before. You've heard it. Hold your thoughts. We're going to get in. We're going to listen to it. But why don't you show us where you put the amplifier so we can show
So we'll just
that.
go over
Yeah,
the
we'll head
passenger side.
Yep.
So when I ran the cable, I ran it down the transmission, back, and over, and then in to the area underneath the seat. But I had to remove the kick panel as well as the sill plate. Had to take that off. And then the seat itself was unbolted and lifted back. And then I left the USB out for ease of tuning.
All right, Shawnee, we're in the rig.
In the rig.
Fire it up. Let's give it a listen.
Turn it on.
All right, here she comes. Ooh, still love the stash in this new Tacoma.
The screen is
Not
gigantic.
to mention the enormous screen. Super slick. All right, you're in control here.
Okay, we'll just wait. I saw
Yep,
Apple
yep.
CarPlay popped up.
Yep. All right, what do you got for us today? What are we gonna listen to?
So let's go ahead and listen to some Spotify.
All right.
So there we go. Some music.
Press it up. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Very rich. Like the bass is just deep. So this is what? This is 45?
Yeah, so that's 45. It almost sounds like it has a sub in here.
Yeah, it definitely did.
So the nice thing about this is we can go back in and go to our settings. So when we go to our sound and media settings and our tuning,
Yep.
right now, bass and treble is
All flat.
all right in the middle. So you still have that ability to salt and pepper for your taste, you know, depending on how you listen to your music.
Yep.
So,
Well, that was, I mean, I could feel it, you know, and so I drive a 2024 Land Cruiser. We've done nothing to it yet, okay?
It's
Working on
all-
solutions. It's
working
all
on
in the
solutions.
it's all in the process. So, for all intents and purposes, very obviously similar systems, you know, from an elementary perspective. But this one's way better, like way better with the amplifier. Again, I can feel the music, which is, I mean, what everybody wants, right?
so let me ask you a question.
Yep.
So you have the JBL system in your Land Cruiser. You have the factory sub.
Yep. Oh, the bass in
AB?
here. The bass in it. So there's just speakers in here. Now, spoiler alert, we've got our soon-to-be released Alpine speaker kit in here. So we paired it with the Beat-Sonic amplifier.
Yep.
Now, like we said before, you can pair this with the factory speakers and you will absolutely have an improvement. But it feels like there's more bass in here without a sub than there is in my Land Cruiser that has a subwoofer.
And double the amount of speakers.
Right. Yeah. No, this sounds great. It sounds great. I feel it on my right. I feel it on my left. I feel it underneath me. I don't even know how I feel it underneath me because there's nothing underneath me, but I do. So it's much more of a concert-like experience, right? And I just want to jam. You want to listen to music because the music sounds great. And so for, frankly, not a lot of money, right? All the thought required was already put into it before you buy it. All you got to do is plug in some stuff and run some wires like you did in this video. And immediately you have a vast improvement in your audio system in your 2024 or 2025 Tacoma. It's an absolute no-brainer.
So let's go back to listening to some music.
Yeah. Turn that baby up. Ooh. Yeah. Shimmy in that seat, boy. All right, worth noting, royalty-free music, not necessarily our favorite, but hey, this is what we can use here. But bottom line is, if I'm jamming to royalty-free music, imagine if it's my favorite. So, like, totally cool, love it, plug and play, ready to go out of the box.
Ready to go, but still fully customizable for your type of music listening.
Right, exactly.
So.
Yeah, well, I'm pumped. I mean, you've heard it all, you've seen it all. What are your final parting thoughts on this?
When you came and said, look, we're looking into bringing this company on, I was pretty stoked because I had used them in the past.
Yeah.
You know, I've had some Lexuses and some Toyotas and stuff.
Yep.
Use them for some of their awesome factory-esque parts.
Yep.
And so I was super stoked, and I got to talk to Eric.
Yep.
Like, hey, can we get a couple of these in here?
Yep.
So on and so forth. So I'm super hyped about it.
Awesome.
I really like the way it sounds. I want to play with some of the DSP features so I can do, you know, kind of have a better breakdown of what it's like and how to tune it in probably a future video.
Yeah, but like I said, right out of the box, the tune is awesome. Certainly if you want to dial it in even more, you can. But one thing that you nailed on, which I think is super important, is, you know, for the partners that we work with, like, we really look to make sure all the boxes are checked in the sense of like, do they make great products? Are they all about innovation? Are they all about the customer? And like, these are great people. Yep. Eric's a good guy. The whole team's a good guy. It makes you feel good about wanting to work with them. It makes me feel good about offering this to our customers and partnering with them. So we're super excited about this partnership. But yeah, I'm sold, man.
So am I.
All right. Well, if you want to pick this up, we've got Beat-Sonic solutions available in the Troger Pro Shop right now at www.trogerpro.com. And as always, guys, have a blast out there.